Okay, sorry about that. The internet kicked out for some reason, which has never happened before. So that was interesting. Let me see if I can get back on here. Give me 1 second just to check the Facebook. See if I can get it up. Okay, 1 more second. I'm almost done. Okay, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get that going. So anyway, let's just get going on the cards. So I'm going to show you the things that we're going to use. Let me show you the catalog first to show you the set. We're going to be using the Whimsy and Wonder Suite tonight. So I have, you can see some of the cards that they've made in Stampin' Up. This is the Whimsical Tree stamp set. And then there's some dies to go with it. We're going to use this beautiful paper that I'll show you. I've used, for the first card, I've used the Merriest Moments. And the first card we're going to do, I used the Thinking of You This Festive Season stamp. And I also used these Tasteful Label dies. And I used this die right here to go ahead and cut out the label for the sentiment. So let me get my pieces out. And let me show you this paper that we're going to use because it's so pretty. And this is the Whimsy and Wonder paper. And hopefully you can see this pretty well. Let me open it up and show you these beautiful papers. The nice thing about these papers, so they all have the pink and mint green in them, but they all have silver. And so the silver is just absolutely beautiful on all these different prints. That's a silver stripe, some leaves with silver. The other sides just have like a pattern on them. And then these trees with the silver embellishment on them. Just really beautiful papers that we're going to use tonight. Okay. So let's get going. This first card is fairly simple. So all we've done is we've started with the pink card base. And this is the polished pink. This is 8.5 by 5.5 and it's scored at 4 1/4. So we've just folded that in half for our base. And then the next thing we're going to do is take this layer, and this is the Mint Macaron, and it's 5 inches by 3 3/4, and we're just going to put this on an angle, and we'll use some seal to attach that. So we'll just put this right here. The next layer is just cut from that beautiful Whimsy and Wonder DSP. And that is 4 3/4 by 3 1/2, and we're just going to put this at an opposite angle. So we'll just attach that with some Stampin' Seal. We're going to do a lot of heat embossing tonight, which I love. It just makes it so pretty. So for the sentiment, I've got my little label cut out of the polished pink that we already talked about. I'm going to take my stamp, and when we do our heat embossing, we're going to use our Versamark stamp pad, which is almost like a glue. And we're just going to get that all stamped up and put it right on here. See if I can get it centered. Okay. And then the next step is to take some silver embossing powder. And we're just going to sprinkle that on. And kind of tap it off. Okay, and then we are ready to hit it with the heat tool. And we're just going to heat this up. You can heat it from either side. And it just takes a minute before it starts to come up. There it's starting to turn. I'll bring it up a little closer so you can see how pretty that is when it turns. It almost looks metallic. I do this so much, but every single time I'm like amazed by how pretty it comes out. Okay. Okay, can you see how shiny that is? Really pretty. So we're going to pop this up right over here. Make sure that's dry, and we'll get out some dimensionals. And we'll just put this right up at the top here. Then the last thing we're going to do on this card, well, we have two more things. I'm going to pull out some of our little embellishments that we have here in the packet. Okay. We're going to use this really pretty silver cord. And this cord comes in silver and gold, so I have some of the silver. And we're just going to tie it around and make a little bow. And this is a pretty long piece, so we have lots of room to make our bow. And we shorten that up a little bit. Could have maybe made that a little bit tighter. As a matter of fact, I'm going to retie it. Sometimes I don't get my finger. So this is when you need a third hand. So you can hold. Okay, perfect. I'm going to just trim off the ends here. Okay, and then we're just going to add some just regular, the clear rhinestone embellishments. Just to add a little bit of extra sparkle on the card. So we'll just do maybe 3 of them. And maybe 1 there. And that's it. Nice, clean, simple card. Very pretty with the pink. On the inside, we're just going to take our white 5.5 by 4 1/4 white cardstock, and we will just put it on the inside to make it a little bit fancier. Get that centered. And then I have a little strip that's left over that was cut from the DSP. So we'll just put that along the bottom just to make it the inside kind of match the outside a little bit. And that's it. That's our inside. You could stamp a sentiment on the inside if you want. There's lots to choose from in that stamp set. And that is card number 1, all the way finished. Now bear with me for 1 second because I just want to play with the Facebook just one more time to see if I can get it to come up right. Okay, sorry about this. I have a different video on here that I'm trying to take off and get my live up so I can see any comments. Normally this only takes a second. Okay, I think we got it now, finally. Okay, next card. Facebook is fun to play with, isn't it? I don't know. Okay, this next one we're going to make, this is mostly with the mint green, and we have that nice paper in the background. So these dies are really fun. You can see all the little tree shapes. There's little stars. It cuts out a bunch of little stars. So I use this to cut out some of the trees. And then the other thing we use is this scalloped board, and this is the scalloped contours dies to kind of cut out our window here. So let's get out the pieces for this one. Okay, that's everything. Now I've pre-cut things to make things move along quickly. Our card base is the basic white cardstock, and this is 8.5 by 5.5 square to 4 1/4, just like the other one. And then I took that scalloped border die like I showed you, and I just die cut it out of a piece of paper that's basically the same. And it looks like, maybe I didn't measure that exactly right. We might have to trim that up just a little bit. But you can see it cut this out, and we're just going to use the inside of this part for the frame of our card. Okay, so let me just trim that just a little bit because I want a little bit of a border on the sides as well. So I'm just going to take a little bit more off the edge. And that way I can center it and have a white border all the way around. Should be good. Maybe make it a little more even. And then this top part looks a little bit rough. Just going to even that out just a little bit. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's much better. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do then is adhere this piece of DSP right in the center. And this will kind of be our background. Okay. Good. Then I'm thinking, so I want to, on this I just put it flat. I'm wondering, do I want to pop this up at all? Yeah, I think that'll complicate things. We're just going to lay it flat. So same thing. I'm just going to go all the way around with the seal this time and get all 4 sides. Oh, hold on. My nightly fight with the seal. Okay. And we'll just frame up this Christmas tree DSP like that. Oops. Somehow I did not lay that quite straight. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now we've got our DSP framed, which looks pretty good. Now you can see I cut some things out with the dies already. So I have this I cut from the mint macaron, and I cut this little tree like this out of the silver paper. And then they also have this one, which almost looks like a garland that I cut out of the silver. And we're just going to put that on the tree itself here. So let's start by putting that on the tree. And for that, I'm going to get my silicone mat. And okay. And you guys know my little glue trick with this, right? So I'm using my Zig 2-way glue pen. And I'm just going to use my silicone mat. You could just use scrap paper as a backdrop too, so the excess glue gets on it. The nice thing about this silicone mat is when the glue dries, you just like brush it off, which is really awesome. So this is a little bit longer than the tree, so I don't think I have to go all the way to the bottom with the glue on this. So let's see if we can find a nice, happy place for this. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to press it down. And I think that looks pretty good. And then I'm just going to cut off this last layer right here because it's a little bit long. We don't need this piece right here. So let me just cut it along the curve. And that's pretty good. All right, we'll let that dry for a minute. And we'll do the same thing to adhere this glue. We're going to adhere this right to the card. So let me find a clean spot on my mat. And we'll use the glue again. All right. Now you could also use the glue that Stampin' Up! Sells, the Tombow glue, the white glue. I'm just really messy with that, and I feel like this just is fast and gets all the parts that I want. So I'm just going to put this off to the side and just press it down for a minute. This glue is awesome because it's pretty tacky, so it dries pretty quickly, and it's going to stay in place, which is great. All right, I think on the next part, I'm just going to take my seal to put this tree on. And we'll put this one, I think actually I put it a little bit lower here. So I'm going to glue that right like that. And then I'm just going to cut off the bottom part here. Now, I want to cut it off a little bit closer to the green so it doesn't get in the way of the white border. So let's see how that goes. Not bad. Just a tiny bit more right here. I should have done that beforehand, right? Measured that a little bit better. Okay, so that looks good like that, right? All right, let's do our greeting next. So we're just going to take a little strip of the basic white, and we're going to do more heat embossing. This time we're going to use the Season's Greetings stamp. And let's get out the Versamark again and just ink or glue that up. And we'll kind of go right in the center with the Season's Greetings. Okay, that looks pretty good. Get our silver out again. And heat embossing is fun, and as you can see, it's super easy, right? All we're going to do is stamp and put the powder on and heat, and that's it. If you get little pieces on, you want to get those off before you heat it, and sometimes you can use a little bit of a brush to get them off, sometimes your fingernail, sometimes you can blow them off. So let's heat this part up. And sometimes I hit it from both sides to keep the paper because it tends to warp the paper a little bit with the heat. Okay, there it goes. As you can see, it's super fast too, right? So I'm going to want to put this, so the greetings is right about here. So I'm just going to trim that off right about here. And I'll just use my scissors, and then I'm going to take my punch, my banner punch that I use all the time, and just make this into a little banner piece. Let me cut some of this off now so I can get it nice and close. And we'll just put this in here, kind of get it centered. Right in the middle. Okay, that looks pretty good. And we're going to pop this up with some dimensionals. And since this is up a little bit higher, I'm going to keep my dimensionals over on this side, and I'm just going to add a tiny bit of seal at the end so it's glued down but not puffed up too much. And I'm going to go all the way to the green edge with this one and just put that along the bottom. So now we have our greeting and our banner here. Let's embellish it a little bit. Now those little stars I was talking to you about before in the die, let me show you again. I just cut these out of the same silver paper with this little die, and now we've got all these fun little silver stars that we're going to put on our card. And I am going to use the Tombow for this, and we'll put, of course, a little star on top of the tree. And then I'm going to put 3 stars up here. 1, 2, 3, with just a dot of the Tombow. And I'm using my fingernails, but we could also use, let me kind of get that more centered, more at the top. Okay, and we'll pick this up with our, take your pig tool, and just put these in place. And then we'll just put one more right over here. And we have some extras, which are nice, because I think they cut out 5 or 6 at a time. But those are really fun. Think of all the different things you could use those for. And that's it. That's our second card. Very simple. Again, you could add some embellishments to the inside. You could add another tree. You could add some little stars. You could add a little sentiment. Whatever you wanted to do to dress up the inside of this pretty little Christmas card. Okay. Let us go on to the next one. So this is a joyful Christmas card, and we use this really pretty pink DSP that has the snowflakes in the background already and a lot of silver in it. Let me just clean up for a little bit because I'm making a mess as usual. Okay, so let me show you the product for this. So these are stitched snowflake dies, and they are absolutely gorgeous. They look especially pretty with the silver because they're so shiny and so pretty, and you can see the stitching really well. And this is a gorgeous set of dies in all different sizes of intricate snowflakes. Very, very pretty. So let's get out the things for our project. I think that's it. Okay, and again, we've pre-cut. So what we're going to do for our card base is the same as we've done with the others, 8.5 by 5.5, square to 4 1/4. This color is Blushing Bride cardstock, and it coordinates with the DSP. And then I have a piece of silver card. Now, the silver cardstock is 5 1/4 by 4. And the trick with this, what I did with this, and I left it like this to show you all, is I set up the dies to cut out the snowflakes in the middle. So I had like each die in a different place, because you're not going to see the middle anyway. All you're going to see is the edge of this. So this will save you on your cardstock. So I cut these out, and I ended up with these pieces right here. And then let me see if I have one, or did I put silver card in all of them? I pre-cut some kits for ordering. Okay, here's one example. So you can see what I did, right? I cut them right out, and then when we put the DSP over the card, you're not going to see it. So let's do that with this piece. All right. So I think what we'll do is let's start by adhering this DSP to the silver. And again, I'm going to just go around the edges. I think like the foil cardstock might be a little bit more expensive than the regular cardstock, so it's a good idea to make good use of it and get as much as you can out of it. All right, so let's get this centered here. And again, then like you can see, then you can't even tell what we've done there, right? All right. And then we're just going to adhere this, because I think what the part we're going to pop up is going to be the label, so we'll just attach this with seal as well. That looks kind of pretty too, right, with that coming through? Okay. Oops. And we'll put this right in the center. Okay, there, that's our very pretty card base. We're going to attach our snowflakes next. So let me get out the ones that we want to use. Okay, and going back to our silicone mat and our glue pen. So, because these are so intricate, and look how fast this is, you can just wipe it on. You don't have to worry about the edges or anything. And that's it. We're going to put this one right in the corner of the card. I'll press it down for a minute. I think this one's my favorite shape because it's, well, it's so snowflake-like. It's just so pretty. And it's big, nice and big. All right, so let's get this one all glued up. There's so many things you could do with these snowflakes, right? And you don't have to do them in silver. You could do them in white. You could do them in like different colors. You could do them rainbowy. Lots of options with these pretty snowflakes. So I'm going to put this one right here and press that down onto our label. And we're going to heat emboss some more. Now this one I have, A Joyful Christmas to You and Yours. Just like that. So that's going to go right in the middle. Same thing we've been doing. Okay. I'm going to try and get y'all hooked on heat embossing because it's so much fun. So easy to do. All right. Trying to not get this all over. You know what? I'm going to go another layer because I feel like some of that didn't get on all the way and stick. Okay, I think that looks good. Who's ready for Christmas? Anybody ready? Anybody done shopping yet? I'm just going to stay in panic mode for a while, trying to get everything finished. But somehow every year it gets done, right? Has there ever been a year where everything didn't get done, I tell myself? Nope. So, don't panic. It'll all get done. Okay. There we go. Very pretty. All right, now we're going to pop this up. I want to make sure that's dry all the way. And I'm going to put a few extra dimensionals since it kind of warped our paper to kind of flatten it back out a little bit on our card. And let me make sure there's no powder in there. I'm kind of making a mess with the powder now. All right. We'll put this right in the center, and that's just going to be popped up a little bit. I don't know if I put that on exactly straight. I might want to straighten that out a little bit. Okay. All right, time to embellish. A bit of extra powder. All right, so let's start with the rhinestones. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to move that like that. Except that I may have lost my rhinestones because I'm making a huge mess. All right, time to get more rhinestones. All right, so I want to put some of the bigger ones right in the middle of the snowflakes. And let's put this one right in the middle of that one. And I think that looks pretty. And we'll use just a couple of small ones or medium ones or whatever size you want to use. I have that one. And let's see, a couple of small ones. And I think I'll just do one more because we like a little extra, right? All right, how about a ribbon? We're going to use this white shimmer ribbon that has the glitter already built into it, and we're just going to tie a bow. You can't have too much glitter and shiny stuff, especially around Christmas, right? Don't like how big that is. I want to kind of make this bow loop a little bit smaller. Okay. We'll fluff it up a little bit. This ribbon is a nice consistency too. It's kind of, you can see it's kind of bouncy and forms really good. All right. Clip off the ends. We're going to use a glue dot and we'll just put that on our card. Put that right up here. Glitter fell from the, and that's it. Very simple silver and pink and white card. Inside, let's put our piece of white cardstock. Getting glitter and embossing powder everywhere. And then we have one more snowflake, so we might as well use it, right? So we're going to put this right down in the corner right here. So a little bit more glue. I'll just set that right there, let that dry for a second. Whoops. Okay, perfect. Card number 3, all finished. What do you think? I hope you guys like these cards. All right, moving on to the next one. So this is our card, and this just opens up kind of in a zigzag fashion for us to put our gift card here, and then you can write your greeting right here in the middle, and it closes up and fits right into the envelope like normal. All right, so some other things that I used on this one. So I used the Stitch Rectangles die, and I used that to cut out the white and cut out this silver cardstock right here. And then we used our wonderful snowflakes again, these beautiful iridescent snowflakes on our card. Finding a lot of uses for these. They're just so beautiful, and these will carry right over into the winter too, just not just Christmas. Now this one, the greeting, I stole from the Frosted Gingerbread, which we used a couple of Facebook Lives back, and I used the Wishing You a Merry Christmas sentiment from this one, and we're going to heat emboss that as well. So let us get out our pieces for this one. There's a lot of pieces on this one. All right, so let's start with the bottom of our card. So we have our card base, the normal 5.5 by 4 1/4 polished pink, and it's just a flat card, just that. And then we're going to take this beautiful same paper set, right, the Whimsy and Wonder DSP Designer Series paper. And this one's really pretty because it's got all the different presents, and it's also got the silver embossing on it, which is really pretty. And we're just going to attach that down to the pink. Center that up. Okay. All right, the next piece we're going to work with is our zigzag. And so this one is Blushing Bride cardstock, kind of that light pink. And this is 9 3/4 by 4 1/2. And then we scored it at 3 1/4 and 6 1/2. So we're just going to fold this in the zigzag manner. And we will just use our bow and folder to make sure our creases are nice. And so as you can see, it's going to be like this. Wait. This way, and open up that way. Okay. So let's embellish this before we attach it to the other piece of the card, right? So let's start at the bottom, and we're going to have our piece of DSP that's going to be for our gift card holder. All right. And so that's going to end up going right down here to hold the gift card. And do I have, let me see, did I write down, I'm not sure I wrote down what the dimensions are for this one. So let me just take a look really quick. And it looks like it's 4 1/4 by 2 3/8. Okay. Now we want to have that little bit of, be able to get the gift card back out. So I'm just going to take a regular circle punch. You could use a circle die. And I'm just going to punch a half circle out right like that of the paper. Then I'm going to use the Tombow glue and just glue around the edge. So just the edges will be glued down, and we'll be able to get our gift card in. All right, sorry about that. My internet keeps going out. That's crazy. It never happens like that before. All right, sorry about that, you guys. Maybe AT&T is trying to get us to buy their new fiber now, since they tore up all the streets to install it. Maybe it's time. Okay. Whoops. Okay. All right, so let's put the silver cardstock again with the stitched rectangle die cut out, and put that right here in the middle. Okay, so we're ready to embellish. Basically, we're going to embellish before we attach it to the bottom part of the card. So let's do our last heat embossing. And like I said, we're going to do Wishing You a Merry Christmas. So we're going to do this right in the center. More silver powder. Okay. It's going really quickly. Okay, that's good. Let me just press the paper down for a minute as it gets cooler. All right, and we're ready to put that on. And we're not going to pop this up. We're just going to use our seal to attach this. And I'm going to add a lot of seal because, again, it was a little heat warped. So I want to make sure it sticks down really good. So we'll put this in the center too. Now we're going to embellish with some presents. And we're just going to cut these right out of the DSP. And we'll just cut a little bit around the edges. And then we can put all the different presents on top of the card. So if you place an order with me by Saturday the 11th of $35 or more, I will send you the kits for these make and takes for free. And you'll get all this paper. Let me show you what it looks like. So the kits have all the cards and things pre-cut like we've been using. You have your embellishments and your ribbon. And I will send this to you free. You have to use the host code right here, FRBDKY67. And then you can make these cards. You'll need a stamp set and the embossing things, but really fun cards to make. And Stampin' Up! Is having a sale tomorrow. It's one day only, December 8th. And they're offering free shipping tomorrow only. So that's another advantage, a good thing to take advantage of. And that's tomorrow only. And that's for an order of $50 or more. You get that discount, the free shipping. So that's a nice little surprise we just found out about a couple days ago. All right, I'm going to cut out, might as well just finish cutting out these other ones. Now I have to keep checking the video to make sure that the internet didn't go out again. Very strange. Okay, we're ready to put some of these on. So we're going to put some on the outside, and the first ones I'm just going to use some seal to lay down, and then the second layer will kind of pop up. So we'll put one here. We're going to take a long one across the bottom, like that. Another long one up here, and then we'll pop a couple of these up. The dimensional. So we'll pop one up right here, and then one over here. Let's kind of make that one go like this. Okay, so that's the very first. Then we're going to put another one right here just to make that look nice. And we don't want that to have a lot of popping up, so we're just going to use our regular, and we'll just kind of put that right like that. So all the components of this are done and ready to go. The last thing we are doing is just attaching it to our card base, and we'll use some seal for that. I'm going to add a little extra because it's really thick card that we're adding on, and we'll put this right in the center. And that's it. That is our gift card holder. Opens up. Now if you wanted to stamp something right here too, you could, or you can just write in what you want to write, and then your gift card will just slip right into here. And that's it. Very easy, right? You can make this with any pattern. It's a good, nice way to do it. You could just use any paper you have, any colors you have, mix it up, make something up, and you can make a bunch of gift card holders for Christmas. So let's just look at what we made tonight. We made that. We had our snowflake card. We had our green and silver trees, and then we had our festive season card. Okay, let me tell you about a couple more things just before we go, and then I'll show you what we have coming up for next week, next Tuesday. The contest last week, Jennifer shared the video on Facebook. So thank you, Jennifer. I will send out these rhinestone basic jewels to you. If you want the project measurement and supply sheet for these cards, you can email me, and my email is up here, sunshineandsparklestamping@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to send that to you. Again, we talked about the free shipping. That is tomorrow only on orders of $50 or more. And then I just want to remind you, our paper pumpkin kit, this set right here, you have till the 10th of December to order this. And this is the Lots of Pun paper pumpkin kit. And it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. It's got these fruit shapes. It's got different things you can do to dress them up with faces. And then it's got a bunch of pun stamps. So that's going to be a cute set when it comes. Let me show you what I have coming up for next week. Next week we're going to be using a cloche set. So I've got back to some more traditional Christmas colors, right? So we've got some cards that we're going to make. So I've got that one. We've got a shaker card that we'll make next week. It says, "It's the most wonderful time of the year." This is kind of in a gray and red theme with that pretty DSP with the silver snowflake background. I also use the cloche dies to show you that, we can just do a birthday card too. It doesn't have to be Christmas. So we'll make this pretty pink and purple card next week. A birthday card. And then we'll also make this one. This I use the cloche background, and we'll do a little bit of coloring with the stamps. And then I did some white heat embossing for some snowflakes. And then this is from one of our die cut sets too, the little Santa in the background. So I'll make those 4 cards next week, next Tuesday. I hope you can join me. And thank you so much for joining me tonight. Everybody have a good week. Thank you.